Speaker Mike Johnson is facing a tough decision. Pass foreign aid funding and risk your job, or don't pass funding and possibly risk vital U.S. interests around the globe. A number of Republicans are threatening a motion to vacate if a vote on foreign aid pushes ahead. This comes 6 months after former Speaker Kevin McCarthy was voted out in similar circumstances. And here with more on the pressure that Speaker Johnson is facing is Mene Ukueberuwa, a member of the Wall Street Journal editorial board. Mene, good to have you back on the show. A lot to unpack here, but first, can you explain a little bit more why Speaker Johnson finds himself in such a difficult position right now?
Absolutely. So there has been a push to get supplemental funding for Ukraine's war effort, along with Israel, Taiwan, and other national security causes for months now, which has been passed by the Senate but has stalled in the House. And that's mostly because there's a large group of Republicans, particularly in the right-wing Freedom Caucus, who oppose that spending, in part because they're skeptical of the Ukraine war effort, but in part because they also worry about adding to the debt. And so Mike Johnson himself supports giving this aid to Ukraine, as do a lot of the more establishmentarian Republicans. But there's a big enough group of them that Republicans aren't able to pass it on their own. And so Mike Johnson is looking at using some Democratic Party support to get this funding across the line. But there are a lot of members, particularly Marjorie Taylor Greene from Georgia, who oppose voting with Democrats on any of these issues and have dinged the speaker for depending on Democratic votes for these sorts of controversial bills. And so she says that if he allows a vote with Democratic support on these bills, she's going to advance this resolution to remove him from the speakership. And she's currently trying to see how many fellow Republicans are going to back her in that attempt.
Yeah, Manny, why continue, I guess some would ask this, the stability of the party, especially now during this critical election year?
Yeah, I mean, I think that basically there are real policy divisions within the party, particularly on the cause of supporting the Ukraine war effort. And for Marjorie Taylor Greene, she does see it as being worth it to send a signal to the establishment wing of the party that the Republicans are moving in a different direction, that the doves on Russia, as you might call them, the people who want a slower war effort, have a lot of support in the party and want to exert control. But I do think that your implication is right, that voters are looking at this process of division among the Republicans and seeing a lot of chaos there, and it's not going to make them excited to cast their votes for Republicans come November. And so the entire party does have an interest in resolving this internal debate and hashing out their agreements without having to resort to the motion of removing the speaker repeatedly from his position, as they've done once already.
Yeah, I know it's really tough to predict, but I mean, how do you see this all playing out?
Well, as of now, Marjorie Taylor Greene hasn't really gotten a great deal of support. She does have the support of Thomas Massie, who's a member from Kentucky, who says he also will vote to oust Johnson if they do have an open vote on these bills. But she's been floating it for almost 3 weeks now, and she hasn't gotten as much support as she previously thought she would. Very importantly, Matt Gaetz, who is behind the ouster of Kevin McCarthy some months ago, has said that he currently doesn't support getting rid of Johnson. It doesn't seem as if there's going to be enough votes to remove him. And so Johnson seems to be making the right move by boldly saying, if you want to get rid of me, go ahead, find the votes. But it seems like Republicans have moved on and are looking to chart a different course rather than rerun the past.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Mene, always good to be with you. Thank you so much for your insights.
Thanks a lot.